Vanessa, let's come back to you then. And well, what's going on in the wider region and in Lebanon, for example?
Yeah, I mean, if we can just pull up the map, I'll start there because basically what's happening in Lebanon, we talked about this last week, but in the last 48 hours, Israel has bombed Tripoli in the north, very close to the border with Syria, which is the first time that it's infiltrated Lebanese airspace to such an extent and carried out an assassination. In the south of Lebanon, of course, Israel is continuing to basically encroach on Lebanese territory. It's bulldozing farmland. It's blowing up people's homes in the southern area. And of course, Jolani's Takfiri project is gathering intensity, particularly in the area around Homs very recently. And of course, again, that's very close to the northeastern border with Lebanon. His Uyghur Chechen militia are gathering on pretty much the key strategic points on that eastern border. And of course, all of this that I'm going to describe is happening while Netanyahu is in Washington with Trump. That's no coincidence. So Tom Barrack, who's the Trump's envoy to the region, he's basically put out a response to his discussions with the Lebanese government about his proposals to effectively disarm the resistance entirely without putting any restraint on Israel that is, as I said, continuing to conduct assassinations and strikes in the south, but across Lebanon without any restraint at all. And of course, while he's saying that he will he wants to disarm Hezbollah and the resistance, he's not offering the Lebanese army the ability to defend itself against Israeli aggression. Then I'm talking about normalization between Lebanon and Israel. And then let's have a look what also happened. So this was Marco Rubio. Bear in mind, again, Netanyahu and Trump are currently together in Washington. So guess what? He's revoked the foreign terrorist organization designation of Territorial Sham. It's also quite interesting that in the text, he actually says that he's revoking the designation of Nusra Front, also known as HTS. So they've spent years trying to tell us that HTS is not Nusra Front and Nusra Front is not Al-Qaeda, but Rubio has basically just dropped them all in it. And at the same time, what we're seeing spring up all over Damascus are these wonderful posters of Trump shaking hands with Jolani, basically saying strong leaders make peace and Syria thanks you. I'm not quite sure that's the case. There has actually already been vandalization of these posters. I also have to say in Lebanon, there are posters saying, let's make Lebanon great again. So the Trump effect is creeping through into daily life in both Lebanon and Syria. Now, I'm sorry, please get your sick pocket ready because here is the wonderful David Lammy speaking on his recent trip to Syria. Yes, you heard that right. He's also popped up in Syria.
It's very humbling to be here, the first foreign secretary in 14 years to visit, to stand with the Syrian people as they rebuild this country. Many Brits will have been moved to tears watching Syrians take to the streets to celebrate their freedom after the fall of Assad. Syria matters hugely to the UK. It matters that it's stable because if it's not, the terrorism that can happen here washes up on our own streets back at home. And it matters also because of irregular migrations. It's hugely important that we continue to support progress here. This is a country that is ancient, made up of many different people. The future has to be an inclusive one, it has to be a peaceful one, and I hope for prosperity for all of the Syrian people.
Well, I did warn you. But he has very generously just given £95 million to Al-Qaeda to continue its genocide and ethnic cleansing programs across Syria. So I'm sure Al-Qaeda and Jolani is very grateful for that. I'm sure that the Syrian people are far less grateful while they're being slaughtered by Jolani's militia. This was a report in I-24, which of course is connected to Israel very much so. This is a Syrian source stated that there are two scenarios currently on the table for an acceptable political settlement between Israel and Syria, which of course includes normalization over the Israeli 1967 occupied Golan territories. So first scenario, according to Jolani, Israel would retain strategic areas in the Golan Heights equivalent to 1/3 of its territory, hand over 1/3 to Syria, and lease another 1/3 from Syria for a period of 25 years. Scenario 2, and this is the more likely one, Israel keeps 2/3 of the Golan Heights and hands over the remaining 1/3 to Syria with the possibility of its lease. Under this scenario, the Lebanese city of Tripoli, close to the Lebanese-Syrian border, and possibly other Lebanese territories in the north of the country and the Bekaa Valley, would be handed over to Syria. So this is wonderful. This is the Greater Syria project combining with the Greater Israel project, with the Greater Israel project, of course, taking dominance and basically weaponizing Jolani as a proxy of the Greater Israel project under the belief that he's actually increasing his own expansionism in the region. So just to give you an idea of what that area of territory in Lebanon would mean, it's this triangle close to the border with Syria from Tripoli across to the Bekaa. So it's a large chunk of Beirut territory that Jolani is wishing that he could bring under the control of Syria. And of course, that explains also the buildup of the foreign Takfiri militants on the border. And finally, I just wanted to show the map that we looked at last week, which is the regional map. And the red circle is up in Erbil, close to the border with Iran, where there is increased tensions between the Kurdish factions there, tribal factions, and so on. Hashd al-Shabi, the PMU, which is part of the Iraqi military, are rushing to try and calm things down. But as I predicted last week, Iraq is now going to be targeted for destabilization alongside Lebanon.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Charles, let's